Before you answer a message, check the news, or leave your home, your body has already begun organizing the day's energy. The night has altered how strongly your cells respond to glucose. Morning light is setting the timing of hormones and organs. The first meal will determine how quickly new fuel arrives, while movement can create an immediate destination for it. Even cold water can briefly raise the demand for heat. These habits appear separate from the outside. Inside the body, each one changes the conditions encountered by the next. That is why 2 mornings with similar routines can lead to very different patterns of hunger, energy use, and recovery. To see the hidden connection, imagine your body as a city opening for work. A city never begins its workday from zero. It opens with the roads, power supply, and workforce left by the night before. Sleep shapes the same kind of starting condition. After sufficient rest, the systems involved in glucose control, appetite, attention, and decision-making tend to begin with more stable signals. Sleep restriction forces several of those systems to compensate before breakfast has even arrived. Controlled studies show that short sleep can increase energy intake. Part of that effect begins in the brain, where sweet and fatty foods can gain greater reward value because they promise rapid energy. Fatigue also weakens the processes used to evaluate those signals and recognize when enough has been eaten. Ghrelin and leptin help reveal another part of the change. Ghrelin promotes hunger, while leptin helps communicate that sufficient energy is available. Individual studies do not always find the same hormonal pattern, but the broader result is more consistent. Hunger can become louder, fullness less persuasive, and calorie-dense food more difficult to ignore. By the time the city opens, it may already be prioritizing quick fuel, even though plenty of stored energy remains available. The next signal does not bring energy into the city. It gives every district a shared time. Light-sensitive cells in the retina detect the arrival of morning and send that information to the brain's master clock, the suprachiasmatic nucleus. This clock coordinates alertness, body temperature, hormone release, and the gradual buildup of sleep pressure. It also communicates with local clocks in the liver, pancreas, muscle, and adipose tissue. In the city, morning light opens the transport network and tells each district that the workday has begun. The districts still perform different jobs, but they now operate within the same biological phase. That timing matters because metabolism changes across the day. A meal, workout, or stimulant does not enter an identical internal environment at every hour. Consistent morning light strengthens the daytime signal, while bright light late at night can delay the system and alter the condition in which the following morning begins. The clock can coordinate the city. The first delivery reveals how incoming fuel will enter it. When food arrives, digestion determines how quickly nutrients enter the bloodstream and how strongly the body must respond. Rapidly digested carbohydrates can produce a quick rise in glucose. The pancreas releases insulin, which helps move that fuel toward muscle, liver, and other tissues. Insulin is often discussed only in connection with storage, although its immediate task also includes clearing incoming glucose from the blood and making it available to cells. Protein and fiber change the pace of the delivery. Protein tends to strengthen satiety and requires more energy to digest than fat or carbohydrate. Fiber can slow the movement and absorption of a meal, depending on the food's structure and what accompanies it. Trials of higher protein breakfasts often report greater fullness, and some find less evening snacking or reduced activity in brain regions involved in food motivation. Breakfast itself is not compulsory for every person. Once the first meal arrives, however, its composition can influence how long the body feels supplied and how urgently another delivery is requested. Incoming energy has now entered the city. Its destination depends on which tissues are ready to use it. Contracting muscle becomes an active destination for glucose. As muscle works, more glucose transporters can move toward the cell surface. These transporters create additional entry points, allowing working muscle to take up glucose through pathways that rely less heavily on insulin than they do at rest. This helps explain why movement after a meal can reduce the glucose rise. Fuel that might have remained in circulation is being requested by tissue capable of using it immediately. Exercise also changes the mixture of fuels being used. Lower to moderate intensity activity draws from both carbohydrate and fat. Training before eating often raises fat oxidation during that session because less recently consumed carbohydrate is available. The timing of exercise has produced mixed findings in long-term studies. Some trials favor morning activity for selected outcomes, while others find no consistent body composition advantage over exercise later in the day. The durable mechanism is demand. Working muscle changes the route available to circulating fuel, and regular activity improves the system's ability to handle glucose beyond a single session. Muscle is one way the city spends energy. Cold activates a different department. When cold water reaches the skin, temperature receptors report that heat is leaving the body. Blood vessels near the surface narrow, breathing changes, and the nervous system begins protecting internal temperature. If cooling becomes strong enough, muscles produce heat through shivering. The body can also generate heat without visible movement through non-shivering thermogenesis. Brown adipose tissue contributes to this response. Unlike white fat, which is mainly specialized for storage, brown fat contains many mitochondria and a protein called UCP1. This protein allows more fuel energy to be released as heat instead of being captured for cellular work. Controlled human studies show that sustained mild cold can activate brown fat and raise energy expenditure. Those experiments usually involve cold rooms, cooling garments, or immersion lasting much longer than an ordinary shower. A brief cold shower may create alertness and a small thermogenic response, but it is not a reliable method for producing meaningful fat loss. Cold, therefore, gives the city a temporary heating bill. That brings us to the distinction on which the entire title depends. The body moves repeatedly between releasing, using, and storing fuel. After a meal, storage can increase. Between meals, during activity, or under cold stress, fatty acid release and oxidation can rise. Both directions may occur within the same morning because different tissues are responding to different demands. Acute fat oxidation describes the fuel being used at a particular moment. Long-term fat loss reflects the balance formed across many meals, hours, and days. A cold shower can raise thermogenesis without noticeably changing body fat. Fasted exercise can increase fat oxidation during a workout, while later appetite and food intake alter the daily result. Caffeine may modestly increase energy use or exercise performance, yet a dose taken too late can interfere with sleep and worsen the next morning's starting condition. Morning habits matter on both timescales. Some briefly alter fuel use. Others influence hunger, food reward, movement, or sleep long after the habit itself has ended. The important pattern is therefore found in the order of the signals and in the way each one prepares the environment for the next. Consider a morning after restricted sleep. The brain may be more responsive to fast reward and less persuaded by fullness. Coffee can soften the feeling of fatigue without restoring the systems affected by lost sleep. A rapidly absorbed meal may then deliver energy while muscle demand remains low. Cold could raise expenditure for a short period, but stronger hunger later may replace more energy than the heating response consumed. A late or excessive caffeine dose can also reach beyond the morning by delaying the next night's sleep. None of these responses is unusual by itself. The problem appears when their directions repeatedly conflict. One signal increases availability, another reduces demand, and a third changes the conditions of the following day. A more coherent sequence changes the same city differently. Rested systems respond more accurately to appetite signals. Morning light aligns the clocks. A meal supplies fuel at a manageable pace. Movement creates somewhere for that fuel to go. Recovery protects the next opening. The hidden influence is now visible. So, do your morning habits make you burn or store fat? The night establishes the condition in which the city opens. Light synchronizes its clocks. Food controls the speed and composition of the delivery. Movement creates demand, while cold can briefly divert fuel toward heat. Each mechanism changes energy use, yet the larger result comes from their coordination across time. This capacity is part of metabolic flexibility. the body's ability to shift between fuels and respond appropriately as availability and demand change. A flexible system can use more stored fuel between meals, increase carbohydrate use when activity becomes intense, store energy after food arrives, and release it again when demand returns. Your morning habits influence that flexibility by shaping the first signals of the day. When those signals support one another, the body receives a clearer sequence for waking, eating, moving, and recovering. Repeated conflict makes each individual habit less effective. The hidden superpower is the pattern they create together. And that pattern begins before the first conscious decision of the morning.